It's not often that games these days have a good old-fashioned casual filter. Robonyan 28 sees your sorry underleveled team and button-mashing playstyle and laughs in its face. If you aren't ready for the real Blasters game to begin, he'll make you know. That's what I'm here for though. In this advanced boss guide to taking down Robonyan 28, we'll discuss every attack of his and how to avoid and counter it, Robonyan's weaknesses, my recommended individual yokai, team setups, and equipment for facing him, and reasons to fight him beyond moving on in the story mode. If this video helps you out, I'm a Nintendo brand ambassador and level 5 brand influencer that releases content such as advanced guides like this one, quicker tip videos, and live streams where I try cool things or play with viewers like you every day, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Anyone who does can enter to win a free copy of either version of Yokai Watch Blasters, Red Cat or White Dog, physical or digital, your choice. The Robonyan 28 fight begins not with 28 himself, but with a few small hordes of smaller Robo-Yokai, beginning with 5 Robonyan. The big thing to watch out for here is Robonyan's undodgeable physical attack. If you get in range and his attention is drawn to you, you'll be taking damage from that rocket punch. Keep in mind these yokai are all level 60. Even though they're just minions, they deal a surprising amount of damage. Take a few hits and you'll be begging for a heal. A tank is essential for both phases of this boss battle. Okay, not essential, as you can see from this footage, but we've got 2 healers in use, which is just as defensive. Either way, not having 2 yokai on your team dedicated to defense is going to make this fight extremely tough. I suggest making one of your damage dealers a ranger, by the way. Not just the technique kind, but the bombing kind. Bombs will be a massive help against the hordes of Robo-Yokai, and Robonyan 28 doesn't move much, so he's completely vulnerable to them. Don't forget 50 base damage techniques have an area of effect damage when fully charged. The splashdown style Shockwave Stomp is a great area of effect damage dealing physical attack, but you're vulnerable while in the air. If you get hit before you land, your attack is cancelled, so it's kind of difficult to use when getting rocket punched by 5 Robonyan, all at offset intervals. One of the yokai in the final wave is Robogramps, so here's a big tip. Kill all of the yokai except him, then run away with your team and take as much time as you need to heal up back to half health. Robogramps is a healer, so he can't really do anything about it. Killing the final Robo-Yokai will trigger a cutscene, and the big man himself will spawn. Robonyan 28 typically begins the battle with a Destructo Beam. This beam's hitbox is as thick as Robonyan 28 himself. This is a multi-hit attack. Step into it and you'll get roasted for its entirety. If you take damage from the full beam, you're almost guaranteed to die. Robonyan announces the attack as soon as he enters his startup animation, which lasts for a little over half a second before he launches the beam. There's a pro to this powerful attack for you. 28 fires his Destructo Beam for a second before recovering for another half. If you position yourself correctly, you've got a solid 3 seconds to heal, buff, attack, use ultimates, whatever you want. If you don't, you'll be taking tons of damage. Speaking of ultimates, now would be a good time to mention that it's hard to make this absolute unit flinch. A simple charge technique won't be cancelling Destructo Beam. The next attack we'll talk about is Tail Driver. After only a little over half a second of startup, Robonyan 28 immediately launches into a 1-second multi-hit attack that covers a 160-degree arc directly behind him. This is a fantastic punish against you for autopilot mashing against him while he Destructo Beams. The best position against 28 is exactly at his side, facing one of his arms. There, you'll be immune to both Tail Driver and Destructo Beam. This attack deals a great amount of damage, but not as much as Destructo Beam. Robonyan's Power Paw is your typical big boss melee attack. Not much to say here besides the nice fact that you're immune to it while standing at his side. What you aren't immune to are his next 2 normal attacks we'll discuss. The first one, Belly Blasters, has 28 fire tons of targeted missiles at and around the current positions of you and all your teammates. Let me make something clear here in case you somehow haven't noticed yet. The AI is really stupid. They will literally stand still and wait for a missile to hit them. Sometimes they'll even walk from a safe spot into a missile spot just so they can stand there and get hit. Feel free to swap over to your healer during this segment and babysit the rest of your guys. The first missile warning appears 1 second after Robonyan begins to enter his power pose. After a missile warning appears, you've got another solid second to get out of there before you're toast. This entire attack lasts for around 3 seconds, so you've got 2 choices. Either run away as Robonyan asserts his dominance over you, or if you're playing a ranged attacker, rush in from the outskirts to right up close to him and wiggle into a safe spot as you continue attacking. As expected of a giant robot, 28 has a big kit of attacks to use against you, and he's got one more we haven't gone over, excluding his ultimate move. Rattling Gatlings has 1 second of startup before Robonyan launches a multi-hit attack in a 200-degree arc covering his entire front and a little bit of his sides, preventing total side camping. He has a blind spot in the center since his Gatling guns are positioned on his shoulders, so take advantage of that. Or don't, honestly. This attack mainly exists to bait you into eating a Destructo Beam immediately after its 1.5 second duration ends. When he starts it up, scooch just a little bit from right beside him to a little more behind him, then immediately scooch right back to beside him when the attack ends to avoid a possible incoming tail driver. Robonyan 28's ultimate move is Super Turbocharge! With an exclamation point. It's the most important part. See, Robonyan 28 will occasionally fly up into the air. He has two options after that. He can either peacefully land in another location, or, before he does that, zoom straight across the entire battlefield vertically while dropping bombs. If you've played Monster Hunter World, this will seem pretty familiar to you. Keep an eye out for the red Super Turbocharged announcement banner that will appear on the right side of the screen a full 3 seconds before Robonyan spawns from the sky back onto the battlefield and begins his flight. It's always a mystery where he'll spawn from. Which side of the field? Where horizontally? Well, there is a trick to this. As soon as Super Turbocharge is announced, keep your eyes on the touchscreen. Robonyan 28's boss icon will instantly warp to where he'll fly in from before he actually starts flying. Stand in the center of the battlefield to give yourself the most time to react. Be careful not to get your directions flipped though, because that's very possible if you're using lock on camera. I don't recommend it in this battle for that reason. Sometimes, depending on the orientation of your camera, pressing left will actually move yourself to the right on your map and vice versa. Robonyan will use this attack whenever he feels like, even at full health. But at low health, he'll fly back and forth 3 times in a row to keep you on your toes. He'll drop bombs all of those times too. He'll also sometimes spawn a couple normal Robonyan, though this isn't connected to Super Turbocharge. Take them out immediately or you'll regret it. Don't forget you can target them using left and right on the D-pad to guarantee that you'll hit them with your attacks. Let's talk counters. Don't be fooled by regular Robonyan's element. Robonyan 28 is lightning, so he resists lightning and is weak to earth. I suggest using at least one ranged attacker, so Arachnus fits this bill perfectly. He's pretty easy to get, but it might take you a bit. If you don't know how to get him, I've linked a very short video guide about it in the description. For my tutorial videos, I always take a fast and strictly informational approach rather than drawing them out to 10 minutes so I can put in extra advertisements. If you're into Yokai Watch content on YouTube that respects you as a viewer, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I actually think this guide might end up being longer than 10 minutes, but that's because it's a detailed advanced strategy guide, not a quick tip one. Anyways, if Arachnus is your main damage source, you might want to use Unkind as your healer, since her skill passively boosts your team's spirit but lowers its strength, and Unkind's stats are amazing. Another great and easy to get option is High Nomi, who evolves from Nomi at level 32. Nomi can be found on patrol in Old Springdale. Make sure to use your Oni Orbs leveling up Nomi as high as possible before evolving him, since levels cost more for higher ranks and Nomi evolves from D to A rank, which is a very noticeable jump. As always, Venoct is an amazing physical attacker when using the Backstep attack in Secrecy as his moves, since Backstep gives invincibility frames and his skill is to always critically hit when in Secrecy. I've linked my guide to getting him in the description too in case you haven't gotten him yet. Positioning matters a lot in this fight, so a tank isn't a bad choice. Untitled is among the best in the game, though his skill, Extreme Critical, isn't too useful if you're focused on defense. He's still got amazing stats like Unkind, and if you're trying to get one, you might get the other instead along the way. In terms of equipment, check out the Glitzy Ring from Super Glitzy Bones for your Spirit users, the Wisp Wristband from Normal Wisp Cream for your Strength users, and the Giant Cauldron Lid from Wobble Walk for your tank. The first two items give an incredible mix of an offensive stat and defense while favoring the offensive stat, either Spirit or Strength. The Giant Cauldron Lid grants a massive 150 defense while subtracting 10 Strength and Spirit from the user, but this doesn't matter since they'll ideally always be guarding anyways. They aren't really meant to deal a lot of damage. Good equipment is not optional for this fight. Robonyan 28 is a true test of how much you've played. Finally, let's talk about Robonyan 28's chance. Occasionally, the 4 terminals in the 4 corners of the battlefield will turn on for 30 seconds. You'll need to go to each of them and channel for 3 whole seconds to turn them on. Note that while holding A to channel, you'll be completely immobile and vulnerable to attacks. From startup to impact, a Belly Blaster only takes 2 seconds to hit you, so don't be afraid to let go of A, even though that'll reset your progress on the terminal. Turning on all 4 terminals before time is up will zap Robonyan 28 with a lightning bolt to trigger a chance that lasts for 8 seconds. It's super hard to get all the terminals in single player since the AI can't activate them, so it's really more of a multiplayer mechanic. Most importantly of all though, defeating Wisp Cream in Big Boss mode will grant you an aura that gives you bonus damage against Robonyan 28. Defeating normal difficulty Wisp Cream will grant you a 50% damage bonus, while Super grants you 70%, and Ultra grants you a full 2 times damage bonus against Robonyan 28 if you fight him in the next battle. Of course, keep in mind that as with all auras, you can only have one active at once and the aura only applies for the next battle, so make sure to fight Robonyan 28 immediately after fighting Whisk Cream. Fighting Whisk Cream before fighting Robonyan 28 is absolutely essential if you're having difficulty with the fight. As the powerful aura gives you a 50% bonus, it's crucial that you get it before attempting to battle Robonyan again if you're having difficulty with the fight. Robonyan 28's normal and super modes can drop the Sand Suit, since him and Sandma are friends. Use it with Sandma to evolve him into a B-rank Mr. Sandma. Robonyan 28's equipment gives a large and equal boost to both strength and defense, and his boss soul makes your soul meter fill up faster. He definitely has some fantastic drops. Thanks for watching. If this video helped you out, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for daily Blasters content and to win a free copy of either version of the game. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at 101Leafy and join my partner Discord with over 1,600 members at discord.gg/101Leafy for the newest channel updates and to talk all things Yokai Watch. Links to everything are in the description.